Heavy rain falling this afternoon. Check out this video shot just a short while ago. This is along I-91 North, taken by one of our news crews. As you can see, very poor visibility because how heavy the rain is really coming down there. This is actually what our reporter Matt Price captured while on his way to Northampton for his live shot. So with that, let's head over to meteorologist Janna Brown for the latest details.
We do have this very slow moving cold front, so that's the key in today's showers and storms. They are slow moving, and because we have all this moisture in the atmosphere, I mean, dew points are well into the 70s. We get that really heavy rain typical of summertime. So there are tons of flash flood warnings across eastern Pennsylvania, southern New York, into Connecticut, New Jersey, and even stretching here into western Mass. It's been right over the Northampton area that got hit really hard between 3 and 4 o'clock. That first batch of rain kind of missing Hamden County and passing north of the Mass Pike, but there are more showers and thunderstorms barely moving over the hill town. So now some concern for maybe some flooding to develop around Chester and then, you know, some areas down through Berkshire County, southern Berkshire County. This is not moving much. Luckily, we have missed out on any severe weather today. We just have that flash flood warning that's ongoing through 6 p.m. There have been flash flooding reports, some cars stuck in, you know, some heavier water, some deeper water on some of those poor drainage areas, but we may see that get canceled earlier if that next batch of rain just doesn't make it all the way east. Now, Futurecast is trying to show some of that heavy rain making its way into Hamden County by sunset tonight, but it really fizzles out after the sun goes down. A couple of showers possible overnight, your 24, showing then we just turn overcast with some low clouds and fog through Tuesday morning. Now, it's going to be a muggy and mild start to the day tomorrow, but it's looking mostly dry. By the afternoon, once we start getting more sunshine, the temperatures are going to go through the roof, getting up to about 90, if not even hitting lower 90s. But we'll start to see some cloud cover and maybe even an isolated shower or thunderstorm flare up in the afternoon. Very hit or miss. So if you do not see any wet weather tomorrow, we should certainly end up around 90 with that heat index approaching 95 to 100 degrees. Because of that, we have a heat advisory up for the Pioneer Valley, stretching all the way out through Boston, almost to the Cape, but not quite. All of Rhode Island under this, down toward Hartford is under it as well. Not just Tuesday, but all of Wednesday and all of Thursday. So we have another stretch of high heat and humidity coming our way. You can't really tell right now because all the showers and storms this afternoon have brought those temperatures back down, but it's the dew points. Goodness gracious, they are through the roof up and down the I-95 corridor. 76 for a dew point in Westfield. That is like as high up on the scale as it gets for us here in New England. It's kind of like Florida weather. Now, dew points may slip just a touch tomorrow, but just a touch. They're sky high Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, but then it looks like we're going to get some relief to start off the weekend. May not last very long, but any dip in humidity is nice this time of year. Now, the rough heat index is going to be climbing tomorrow. It's really going to max out Wednesday, close to 100, Thursday, and potentially even Friday. We could end up having 5 first alert weather days right in a row, going from storminess to just high heat and humidity through the end of the week, and then Saturday feeling a little bit closer to normal. Not much for winds next couple of days. I mean, this ridge of high pressure keeps things very stagnant. We could see a pop-up shower or thunderstorm each afternoon and evening, but severe weather is unlikely. Maybe talking about another flooding concern by Thursday and Friday as that cold front comes in. And once we're behind the front, nicer weather to kick off the weekend. Amanda?